it's a pretty special commercial model in the sense that for the lightweight users, it does a named model. For the high capacity, it does a concurrent model. So we kind of took the best of all worlds and kind of fit them to each bundle, each to each respective kind of use case and or associated personas to kind of bring it all together and create a model that just makes sense for customers.
Hi everybody, welcome to this briefing. Excited to talk about this hot topic at the moment. We're going to be talking Teams Contact Center, we're going to be talking Unify, Teams Phone Extensibility. I've got Giddy, who many in the community will recognize. We've spoken before. Giddy owns Voca at AudioCodes. Giddy, maybe you could just give us a little bit of an intro and a background just to set the scene.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom, and thanks for having us again. Giddy Allusberg, managing Voca CIC over at AudioCodes, our Teams contact center solution. A lot of AI in it, and now Unify certified. So I guess we have plenty to talk about today.
Definitely. I'm excited to finally see some Unify certifications coming through. Very few, so you're one of the few. So in this session, we're going to talk about the certification, the integration, some customer stuff, also the commercials around it. Not many people are talking about how the commercials work in Unify contact centers, so excited to talk about that. But I guess to start off, Voca's particularly interesting, and I've kind of been following the journey, obviously. Like you haven't been in market for 10 years. Actually, you came in at a time when it was cloud first, and you made a big early bet on Azure Communication Services. Maybe you can kind of take us back to the product inception and that journey.
Sure thing, Tom. So for me, this goes back to just the pure nature of AudioCodes and who we are as a company. We are very much an engineering-led company, right? So it means many things, but in the context of the Voca and the ACS story, when we saw the opportunity to kind of upgrade from a conversational IVR solution to a full-blown Teams contact center with AI capabilities, obviously, there are multiple technology stacks that we could have go with, and to be honest, in simple words, because the company has a very strong kind of engineering mindset, we are always led by a simple question of what's the newest and what is the best technology that we can use. And even if it has a few gaps, and even if it presents a few or maybe more than a few technical challenges for us, we're still not afraid of it, and we know how to close these gaps. And so definitely already in kind of mid-22 was when we launched the very early version of Voca CIC, again, completely based on Azure Communication Services. I remember back then, so many partners and also knowledgeable IT leaders in the customer side were really? Can you guys do this with ACS? And we were because, we have a few gaps that we need to close on our own. But the benefit of working with Azure Communication Services is, by magnitude, the tightness of the integration is unmatched to the other integration models. That's something that we already saw back then. And I guess now, fast forward to today with Unify, it's kind of making that stack as the newest, shiniest standard of how a contact center can integrate with Microsoft Teams Phone.
Yeah, Microsoft are really pushing now, and they had what was called Power, now is called Unify. That ability to use ACS, so you're completely native on the Azure cloud for media and your contact center, and you're tightly integrated to Teams, and even things like using now with the Teams Phone Extensibility, having your phone numbers configured in Teams and seamlessly routing through to the contact center. So it feels like Microsoft are now a bit more public. And I guess part of the AudioCodes thing, certainly I see from the outside, is, you've got that tight relationship with Microsoft, you've got recording, you've got devices, you've got, rooms, you've got now contact center certified as well, SBC of obviously all the voice heritage. So I'm guessing that bet was a bit of a trust in, we want to work tightly with Microsoft and this is the direction they're headed in. Absolutely,
Tom. I talk a lot about how, I've been saying this in previous sessions, but for the sake of those who did not see, watch those, I've been talking for a long time about how already back in like the early days of the Microsoft Enterprise Voice ecosystem, AudioCodes made its bet to go with Microsoft, and needless to say, that bet paid off, and so that's kind of a natural extension of that strategy, right? Of we believe that Microsoft, the reports show it, but also we as a vendor feel it, that Microsoft is very well positioned to give us everything we need to bring those products to market. So yeah, just like you said, in simple words, for the sake of people who are not like the part of the audience who are not like classic geeks, when we talk about media handling in the Unify, essentially we mean that an agent desktop interface acts exactly like the Teams client from a media handling standpoint. So no API connections, no SIP call transfers. The way we like to say, the call starts, stays, and ends all inside Teams phone. So very little that can go wrong. And of course, a primary business outcome of the 5 nines uptime that a solution like Voca just seamlessly inherits from the Teams phone SLA. So
that's interesting, isn't it? Because the Teams phone SLA is now 5 nines availability, so all the Teams routing is. But when you go to an ISV like AudioCodes for Contact Center, they also have to publicly state what their SLA is, and you've done the same. You're doing a 5 nines SLA. Not everybody is doing that, even if they're on Azure, but as you say, you get the benefit of Azure. So I think you've kind of proven you can back yourselves on a 5 nines SLA.
Absolutely, and for me, that's the sheer power of using, just a standard SDK from Microsoft that, again, from a media handling standpoint, acts exactly like the Teams client. So if Teams has 5 nines uptime, we have the same 5 nines uptime. So we actually mean it when we say it. Absolutely.
Awesome. And Microsoft certify contact centers with different certifications. They have Connect, Extend. They have now Unify. There's just under 40 certified contact centers, but only 5 in the Unify camp, Voca being one of those. Like, can you, I know you can't share all detail, but how does that certification process work? Because it's not just turn up and get a stamp, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty interesting. I'll say that, I remember in summer of 23 was when we became, Microsoft certified for the first time. Back then it was based on the Connect model. And I remember the test criteria was, it included everything you would expect from a contact center functionality testing standpoint. But I remember when we got the Unify test criteria a few months ago, we were like, wow, Microsoft is clearly aiming for way more than just, let's see that you can hunt a live agent, or, let's see that you can do, a callback or stuff like that. So in the Unify testing criteria, you got a lot of UI requirements, AI requirements, very specific also about show us that you can transcribe in real time. Show us you can do sentiment analysis. So in Unify, Microsoft is really trying to make sure that, if they stamp someone like us, like Voca as a vendor, they back the statement that it really is using, the most standardized and productized lanes of a contact center and Teams phone integration, AI capabilities, and everything that goes with it.
Yeah, and AI is a huge one, isn't it? Obviously, Microsoft have pivoted incredibly heavily to AI. They have this investment in OpenAI, so they have access to all OpenAI's models as well. And I'm seeing the IC3 ACS team take a lot of advantage of that. And you can do some things in Unify, like get directly into the media stream and understand what's going on in real time. Maybe you could help us with what's that bringing to customers in terms of like features for the business? What can they do with this AI?
So obviously, when we talk about just generally talking about AI use cases in CX or in contact center, I mean, we can do a 3-hour session on this alone, right? But so I think the use cases are pretty clear. I mean, everything from like real-time transcription through sentiment analysis, AI summarization, real-time agent assist, extracting insights with AI, a lot that you can do with AI. But again, for us, the key with Unify is not what are the use cases, but it's more about how these use cases are achieved. So before Unify, I think it was a bit of a jungle, if you will. It was kind of left for the vendor to decide, okay, which Azure AI service am I working with? How do I work with it? How do you fulfill the API? All that was left purely for the vendors to decide. With Unify, now you got Microsoft telling you it's not up to you to decide how to fulfill an API. We tell you how you're going to do it. So it's kind of just taking that whole AI journey to a more kind of enterprise grade place where things are more guaranteed to work well, to deliver the right level of performance, and again, just a lot less that can go wrong. It's all just super standardized.
Yeah, and I guess you get Microsoft are continuing to invest literally billions in AI and infrastructure and data center. As they improve and offer new models, new capabilities, you get to ride and inherit those benefits. So it's kind of a positive moving capability.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a testament to that would be the Dynamics 365 contact center, which, Microsoft are investing a lot in that and, trying to, it's kind of a different market area. Of course, Dynamics is there trying to compete, the big boys on the block, the NICE, the Genesis, and so on. But yeah, absolutely. This gives us a great advantage because every new technology that these days can make its way to Dynamics can now make its way to a solution like Voca as well. So I've
asked that question of the Dynamics team and of the ACS team, and the Dynamics team are getting no special access or special privileges. They're building on the same platform. So it's really exciting for ecosystem because you're right. Dynamics are going trying to go up against the really big boys in contact center. For the certified ecosystem, if you see Microsoft Marketing Dynamics can do it, well, provided the ISV implements it, they can do the same thing in their contact centers. I think over the coming years, we're going to see some really exciting capabilities that we can inherit in ecosystem contact center as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So fun times in that sense, Microsoft these days is not sure if it's the first or the second largest tech company in the world as of today.
Yeah, it depends on the day of the week, doesn't it? Apple have just had their announcements as we record, so maybe they're edged it again.
One week it's NVIDIA, another week it's Microsoft. But, in any case, to be able to enjoy the same technology stack that, the Microsoft applications themselves are using is a huge benefit for us. Absolutely.
So we've been talking contact center, quote unquote, and that's typically how I end up talking in this space. But we were just talking off recording there about there's this interesting use case for like somewhere between a Teams user and where Teams has the core knowledge work capabilities and a full-time contact center. And you said you were seeing this too, that there's kind of this middle ground where it's like, power users taking some of the capabilities. Can you speak to what you're seeing there in terms of people, using those capabilities?
Absolutely, Tom. So, we've been talking for more than 2 years now, I guess, about employees beyond the contact center, informal agents, citizen agents. There are so many names for that, pretty exciting market area. Yeah, I can tell you that a good, probably, if I have to just estimate, probably about 20% of the deals that we take nowadays belong to that category. So I always like to give those examples of think about the HR team, the legal team, a travel desk, a reception desk, security team, all these places. If you, I always like to say, if you ask a security team, do you need a contact center solution? Most chances they won't even know what you mean. But if you ask them, could you use some call logic or, so that when a call comes to the security team at 3 a.m., you are able to escalate it to someone's mobile and hunt for someone who's actually there to take a call at 3 a.m. because it's a security team, you probably want to take that call. They will tell you, absolutely, we need that, and they kind of do that in clumsy ways. So when there's a contact center solution with the right, kind of technology, again, just an add-on on Teams, and especially when it comes with a good, kind of wrapped in a good commercial kind of framework, it all of a sudden makes sense for them, and they're like, sure, yeah, I actually need that. So
yeah. Do you need advanced routing? Do we need some failback scenarios? Would it be good to transcribe all those calls for when things happen in security? Something like, yes. I'm not a contact center agent, I'm security, but yes, we have a team. Yes, they're roaming on the site. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it reminds me, you mentioned transcription. It reminds me of a very recent example. So we're talking with this global insurance company. And never mind, we made our way to the C level there. And then, so actually it was the CEO who told us, we have a lot of pension advisors that are not really agents. These are not people who are sitting with headphones and making calls all day. But, they're speaking with customers a good half of the day at most, and they are on Teams. And they need capabilities like AI summarization and analytics. So, it's a good illustration for how, as technology makes a progress, becomes more and more commoditized, more and more easily available, the use cases are endless. So many departments that can benefit from these capabilities.
Yeah, I think the AI has really unlocked some interesting capabilities as well. So when we talk about summarization in the knowledge worker scenario, typically we're talking about helping individuals with productivity. But in that scenario, or the contact center scenario, well, wouldn't it be interesting for that organization to use AI to look across the scope of all the pension advisors' calls for the last 3 weeks and see what the common themes are, the common questions are? I'm so excited about contact center for the next couple of years in AI, because it's just going to get disrupted so heavily. But you're not talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars an agent or the very high end of contact center to get some of these capabilities now.
No, not at all. So, we recently kind of completely revamped our commercial model.
Yeah, let's get into this, because not many people are talking about commercials in Unify. Because for those that don't know, Unify is using Azure Communication Services, so it's consumption based. So there is a cost to solutions like yourselves to use the platform, and it's interesting to see how different vendors are then pricing to customers.
Absolutely, and I always like to talk about the cognitive load of comprehending, getting your head around the commercial model. Because, and by the way, this also in a way relates to AI, because I'll give you an example. In AI, you got this whole notion of tokens, right? Now, if you go to the average, just an everyday IT leader and ask them, how many AI tokens do you need next month? They don't know. No one knows. And so same thing with the Azure Communication Services technology, that a lot of it is priced by the minute or sometimes even by the second. A vendor that just takes that and kind of throws that on a customer, charges by the minute, by the second, that's not in our view, that's not an easy way to deliver a solution. So for us, I mean, obviously technology matters, but it's also the overall buying experience that makes a difference. So, one of the things that I'm personally very proud of is, we took the Unify technology stack and we created our own financial model of how that translates to a concurrent monthly agent term. And, by doing that, we take that cognitive load on us, making it easier for the customer, not only easier to understand, but also easier to predict from a budget standpoint, right? The customer wants to know how much do they need to invest per year, per month, whatever, on CCaaS or on AI. So the easier we make it for them to understand the cost in familiar terms, the easier we make it for them. And so it's important for us to not only make a product that's easy to work with, but also a product that's easy to, I guess, buy and understand what to expect as part of buying it.
Awesome. And like, talk us through, because you've got a named agent model and a concurrent agent model, and you've kind of got a lighter weight scenario and a heavier weight scenario. So maybe you can take us through how that pricing works.
Sure. So another pretty brave decision that we took there was, we see some vendors doing a concurrent model. Then we see a lot of vendors still doing the named model, but my personal opinion, it's pretty insane to do that in 2025 when everything is so consumption based, to charge for a named agent seat when the actual seat might be empty because the guy or the lady are off today. For us, doesn't make sense. And so for us, in the new model, we got CIC1, CIC2, and CIC3. CIC2 and 3 are pure concurrent agent model because they are aimed at high capacity contact centers that do not want to pay for empty seats, especially when you're talking about a high capacity desk. And we also did some cool stuff there, like bundling compliance recording with it. So another kind of example of how we really try to make the buying experience smoother and nicer for a customer. But then in CAC1, which addresses the lightweight contact center agent, or again, that informal agent, that security team member, that travel desk team member, there we did go with a named agent because it's just very low volume users. So it's a pretty special commercial model in the sense that for the lightweight users, it does a named model. For the high capacity desks, it does a concurrent model. So we kind of took the best of all worlds and kind of feed them to each bundle, each to its respective kind of use case or associated personas to kind of bring it all together and create a model that just makes sense for customers, easy to quote for channel partners. Simple is always better, right? And I can tell you a quick anecdote that when we launched it, one of the inspirational intros I gave was around Steve Jobs and how when Steve Jobs rejoined Apple in 97, one of the first things he did, he actually end-of-lifed about 15 different offerings that Apple had back then. And he created this 2x2 matrix and said, we are going to have 4 products. That's all we're going to in the computing, of course. Yeah. Just 4 computers that we're going to focus on. And so this was just my way of showing how, end of the day, the simple wins. So yeah, we definitely worked a lot and thought a lot about how can we make this as easy as possible, as simple and clean as possible. So 3 agent tiers, each with its price. We also put it online on our website, so fully transparent about it. No more guessing or no more fill up this form to know how much it costs. So yeah, we enjoy that. We are proud to.
That's great, and not consumption based. So those are, you've kind of done some maths on the back end and fair use, so the enterprise can know their cost model. I've got 50 concurrent agents. This is what my contact center costs.
Yeah, and again, for us, it's just a simple. Let's take the load off of the customer and take it on us. Make it easy for the customer.
Awesome. We're getting close to time, but I just wanted to say congrats on the latest awards as well, because you've had quite a run of good awards, and I know I talk to the guys and girls who do the judging on that. So the Metri and Kevin Keeler and some of the UC Today people, and it's competitive in our space to win some of those awards, particularly in Teams contact center right now, right? Because there's a lot of options. So you seem to be doing well on that front.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tom. It's definitely been, let's call it a hot and fun summer for us, because, it started with our win of the Best CX Deployment Award, which was great because we needed that kind of testimony of, in 2024, we won the Best Microsoft Teams Contact Center Award. And it's great to be able to say, this is a proof that not only can we build a strong product, but we also definitely know how to deliver it. And, delivery matters these days. So, that was a very exciting win for us. And then came the 2025 Best Microsoft Teams Contact Center Award that we won. So back-to-back wins as the Best Microsoft Teams Contact Center. And I can tell you, it's great that you bring it up, because quite interestingly, I think because we're winning a lot of these awards, we get asked a lot like, how does that work? Who's, maybe some people are wondering how these decisions happen. So yeah, absolutely. There's like a objective panel of judges that, from people from the industry, the audience can go on these websites and see who they are. But they just rank all the vendors that submit. So for us to win these back-to-back awards of the Best Microsoft Teams Contact Center is great validation of, just a lot of effort that we put in here. So very excited about that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for catching us up on everything that's going on with Voca and CIC. I appreciate always when talking to you, the complete transparency about what's going on in terms of the platform and the commercials and how it all works. And we'll have to check in again soon.
Always a pleasure, Tom. There's always something to talk about here. So thank you. Thank you for having us.